The Nigerian Women Crusade for Good Governance, representing 100 women groups, has tendered an unreserved apology to the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the Nigerian Senate over the unfounded allegations made by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. The apology was made during a press conference in Abuja. Speaking on behalf of the group, Dr. Mrs. Cecilia Ikechukwu condemned Senator Akpoti's behaviour, describing it as disruptive, crude, and distasteful. According to her, Senator Akpoti's actions has brought embarrassment to Nigerian women and undermined the effort of female politicians who have worked hard to gain the trust and respect of Nigerians. The group attributed Senator Akpoti's behaviour to her poor upbringing and lack of character, citing her history of blackmailing men in power. They also accused her of using false allegations to gain political relevance. The Nigerian Women Crusade for Good Governance therefore praised Akpabio for his commitment to good governance and his support for women inclusion in politics.
Unruly conduct in the legislative chamber was not just a personal embarrassment, but a stain on the reputation of female politicians who have worked hard to gain the trust and respect of Nigerians. Indeed, it is disheartening that at a time when women are breaking barriers in governance, Senator Natasha has chosen to exemplify recklessness rather than responsibility. Indeed, her conduct in the legislative chamber is not an isolated incident, but rather a reflection of a deeper issue rooted in her personal history. However, this is not acceptable excuse for an unruly behavior. As a public figure, she is expected to understand her responsibility of upholding the values of respect, integrity, and accountability. But rather, doing this, she kept exhibiting traits that suggest a lack of proper upbringing and moral restraint. Her actions in the legislative chamber were not only disrespectful to the Senate president, but also to the Nigerian people who expect their leaders to conduct themselves with dignity. Evidently, this is not the first time Natasha Akpoti has resorted to desperate antics to gain public attention. Her history is replete with episodes of blackmail, particularly against men in power. A clear example of this was her attempt to falsely accuse Mr. Reno Omokri of sexual harassment in 2021. However, unlike many of her previous victims, Mr. Omokri countered her claims with solid evidence, exposing her lies to the world. The aftermath was an overwhelming disgrace that left her with no choice but to delete all her false posts and pay damages for her malicious slander. Moreover, it's a sad revelation to us that this pattern of behavior proves that Senator Natasha has built a career on weaponizing falsehood to attain political relevance over the years.
They apologized to Nigerians for Senator Akpoti's behavior, promising to continue advocating for women leadership and good governance. The group therefore urged Senator Akpoti to use a 6-month suspension to reflect on her actions, seeking therapy, and studying the Senate rules to gain a better understanding of the legislative process.
She has been using these traits to climb the political ladder, while targeting top individuals with baseless allegations. Many of those she has targeted in the past either succumbed to her demands or paid clearly for daring to challenge her publications. It is therefore no surprise that she has carried this same attitude into the hallowed chambers of the Senate. We, the Nigerian Women Crusade for Good Governance, on behalf of well-meaning Nigerian women, tender our deepest and most heartfelt apology to the Senate President, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, and indeed all Nigerians for the shameless actions of Senator Natasha Akpoti. It is important we acknowledge that Senator Godswill Akpabio has been one of the strongest supporters of women's inclusion in governance in this nation. He has shown time and again that he is a man of integrity, one who values the contributions of women to nation building. His actions speak volumes about his character, and it is heartbreaking to see him being subjected to such humiliation, because throughout his tenure as governor, minister, and now Senate president, he has been consistently committed to empowering women. Firstly, in his capacity as governor of Akwa Ibom State, he gave priority to gender equality by appointing a large number of women to important government positions, acknowledging their skills and abilities in his capacity as Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. He also carried on this tradition by ensuring that women had the chance to take the lead and make significant contributions to the advancement of national development.